Hello everybody, I'm Yu-Gi-Oh! Deckmaster, and it's time for another deck special!
Hello everybody, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Deckmaster, aka Jason Late. And I decided to bring to you, which I'm getting in real life, spent over $150 to get this stuff early release because I'm having such fun with it. It's the most I've ever spent on a deck. Labyrnth. I feel it kind of plays very similar to how Trap Trick should play. And maybe with the new support in December. Oh, I can't wait till that gets announced. Maybe they will. But until then, to get away from the floodgates, well, mass floodgates, aka Eltlage, and to get into a deck that's still trap-based, but more my style, here we go with Labyrnth. This is my take on the deck. I got some duels and everything. Let me know what you think. If you like, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And let's get started. Alright, we're going to start off with a quick review of the deck. We start up with Heavenly Prison. We're going to run 3 of this because we want to see this early on. We're all about normal traps. Since there's very little anything outside of normal, except for one floodgate we run, trap-wise, we want to see this in our hand because this basically cuts off almost all back row removal, except for something like Cosmic, and if we're setting 5, losing 1, okay, or evenly. And you know what? If we get hit with evenly, we probably lose. But, if you have it, you have it. And then also this lets us set key cards from our deck, like Pot of Extravagance, which will be replaced with Pot of Prosperity once I can get it from the tins. Or one of the normal traps that we can just activate. This deck has a real keen ability of being able to reuse the normal traps. So you get one out by this. Once you get it in the graveyard, you can kind of keep bringing it back and using it each turn. It's crazy. Plus 3,000 attack, and defense. Nothing to joke about there. And then we got 2, not 3. Do not run 3. For now, we run 2 lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. Now, in the next set, Darkwing Blast, a new one comes out, and you're probably going to want to run 2 of it and 1 of this, because it has a special summon clause with traps and stuff. But for now, we need a boss monster in theme. Lovely Labyrinth will do. And with Crow running about, running 2 is not a bad idea since, she is kind of your main go-to gal. Her effect's very simple. While she's on the field, your opponent can't activate monster effects when you activate a normal trap. If we'll call it a trap effect, which means if a trap card makes a monster on either side of the field leave the field, either go back to hand, extra, go to the grave, get banished, gets destroyed, whatever. If they leave the field, the trap effect is activated and they do something. So we're going to just clause that as trap effect. Okay? Okay. So her trap effect is after the monster leaves, she can either destroy 1 card on the field or 1 card randomly in your opponent's hand. And yes, you can Yada Lock if you get them down to where they're top decking and you compulse your own monster back, because any monster leaves the field by a normal trap effect. And then you just pop the card they drew. If it doesn't have a grave effect, you Yada Lock them. Figuratively speaking. And then she has one last effect while on the field. Once per turn, you can target a normal trap in your grave and set it to your field. But if you don't control any fiends, you can't activate it. Not a big deal. So basically, she's your reusable tool. You just get to keep bringing back the nasty traps. We have 3 Ariadne, the Labyrinth Servant. Now, her, I don't get. She has you can only use 1 effect once per turn and only once that turn clause, which kind of sucks. None of the others have this that I run anyway, so it's kind of stupid, but whatever. You can either use, when she's summoned, normal or special, add a Labyrinth card from your deck to your hand, or trap effect. After the monster leaves the field, you draw a card, and then you can special summon one fiend or set one spell or trap from your hand. Sadly, you can't activate the set spell or trap that turn. I wish you could, but hey, you get a draw card. That's pretty good. There's another one called Air Rain or whatever. I mean, she's okay. You can send a normal trap to special summon a level 4 Labyrinth from deck, and she has the same trap effect of after the monster leaves, drawing a card and either summoning a fiend or setting a trap, or a spell or trap from hand. But I just don't feel like she's really that good, and this is all you need for the level 4s. Then I run one Labyrintth Chandrangler. Most builds run 2, but I find since this and Stovey Torby do the same first effect, I find it to be kind of cloggy. So I do a 2 Stovey, because he has a better second effect, and 1 Labyrinth, or 1 Trandangler, because his second effect ain't as good. But I don't want to clog on 3 Stovey in hand, you know? Their first effect that they share is a quick effect. You can send themselves and another monster to set a Labyrinth spell or trap from your deck. The main ones you're going to set is their Welcome Labyrinth Trap or their Filled Spell. And then, of course, activate the Filled Spell. Their second effect is Trap Effect after a monster leaves the field. Trandangler can add itself back to hand. It's okay, 1500, not bad. While Stovey Torby can special summon itself with 2000 defense. Better. Then, of course, we got the MVP, Absolute King Back Check. This card is abusable as hell in here. Basically, if it goes to the grave, you get to kind of rearrange the top 3 cards of your deck in any order, and then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, excavate the top card of your deck. If it's a normal trap, you can set it and use it this turn, otherwise it goes to the grave. But you basically get it so where you're going to excavate a trap, and then also have set up your next turn's draw, which is pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty easy to get sent to the grave. You can run the Ghastly Glitch, which a lot of people are running. If you control a fiend, you could pop a card and then send a level 3 or level 3 or lower fiend from deck. You can run that as an option. And there's other traps that send it. I run Dark Sacrifice as mine. I don't care for having to control a fiend. If they get rid of all my monsters, that card's completely dead. So I went a different route. That's it on monsters 14. That's all. I do not run the level 1 that allows you to activate a trap the turn it's set, or that card is not even worth it. And I don't run the one that special summons and gets big and beefy, because that's just attack points. People can get over that crap. We'll run the new one when it comes out, though. We run 2 Pot of Extravagances because I don't want to draw Extravagance off of Extravagance. Will I go to 3 Pot of Prosperities? Probably not. When I get them, I'll probably still go 2 Pot of Prosperities, but Prosperity is better than Extravagance, but it's just, waiting on that reprint. 2 Labyrinth, the Filled Spell. This card is kind of nuts, but it doesn't at first look like it's nuts. Okay, first off, its main effect, while it's on the field, it gives any Welcome Labyrinth trap an additional effect, and it is their effect. It's a trap effect now of destroying 1 card after it resolves. Which, yes, if you destroy a monster with it, will trigger all the trap effects. It's pretty crazy. Then, it has kind of a trap effect, but a little different. If you activate a non-Labyrinth normal trap, after it resolves, you can special summon a fiend from your hand or grave. This is really kind of cool and kind of low-key powerful with Torrential Tribute. Nuke the field, it resolves, you bring back your big monster. It's kind of nuts. So you want to get this out and keep it out, but you don't want to brick on it, so 2's a good ratio. Let me take a drink. And then we got Welcome Labyrinth. Only Labyrinth trap I run for now. It lets you special summon a Labyrinth monster from the deck, but after it resolves, you can't special summon monsters from the main deck or extra deck except fiends until the end of the next turn. And then it has a trap effect. After the monster leaves the field, you can set it. But it can't be the same turn it was sent to the grave. So if you get 2 in rotation, it allows you to just each turn keep setting it and summoning from deck and popping cards. And it also allows you to chain block, which is really cool because if they want to go spell this, be my guest. DD Crow it or whatever, that's fine. I'm going to be getting pops and draws and special summons, so that's fine. Then we got our line of normal traps. Before we go into them, let's get the one floodgate out of the way. Goes in match. I'm maining this and citing rivalry. I'll either put one or the other in, but all my monsters are dark, most of my extras dark, and I can work around being locked into fiends just by keeping Heavenly for revealing purposes to keep my back row safe. That's why I run it, just to give me a little bit of an edge. Only non-normal trap. Okay, now on to the normal traps. We got 2 Ice Dragon Prisons, summon a monster from the grave, can use it as a beat stick, material for links, or exceeds, or banish. And yes, if you banish a monster your opponent controls with it, their trap effects will activate. Torrential Tribute, they summon, you blow up the board. This card I love. Terror of the Overroot. Target a card on the field, target a card in their graveyard, swap them. The card from the grave gets placed face down, aka special summon in face down defense, or set face down in the spell or trap card zone, and the card on the field gets sent to the grave, not destroyed. This will trigger their trap effects, but it also gives you outs, and because you can keep reusing them over and over and over, you basically get to pick and choose. Oh, you got a high-powered monster? Now you got a puny little hand trap. In defense mode. Oh, you got Mystic Mine? Nah, I think I'm going to give you this one spell you activated already once this turn and does absolutely nothing for the rest of the turn. I'll give you back your metaverse. There you go. It just got set. Have fun. Or something. And it's kind of cute. It is a once per turn like Ice Dragon's Prison, so that's why I kind of only run 2 of each, and I wanted to stay in a 40 card limit. We got 3 Dark Sacrifices. This and Heavenly Prison makes it so your opponent literally can't do any back row removal except for like Even Layer Cosmic. It states that when your opponent activates a card or effect that would destroy a card or cards on the field, theirs or yours, you negate the effect. Sadly, don't destroy the card, but you negate the effect, and then you have to send a level 3 or lower dark from your deck to the grave, aka Backjack or Stovey or Trandangular. Your choice. Mostly Backjack in most cases. This is, and it's not once per turn, by the way. So this just like is crazy. It's gonna stop them lightning storms, gonna stop them twin twisters. It's just gonna stop a whole bunch of crap, and your opponent ain't gonna be able to do a damn thing about it. We got Triple Dogmatica Punishment. You send a monster, usually something like an Entis, pop their card. Trap effects activate, plus Entis activates to pop more cards. Or maybe you send Garua to draw a card. And yeah, you kind of get a Pot of Greed effect if you do it with Ariadne, because she'll let you draw, and then Garua will let you draw all off of a normal trap activation. It's kind of nice. I run 3 of this, even though it's once per turn, because you want to see it. 3 Compulse. It's simple. Bounce a monster back to hand. The cool part about this one is you can bounce your own monsters, which is kind of useful, because if you get into the example Yada Lock situation, your opponent's top decking, drawing a card, and you have Lovely out, and another monster, you bounce your other monster back to hand, Lovely triggers, pop the card in their hand. If it ain't a grave effect, well, I guess it's my turn now. Oh, I'll use her effect to reset Compulse. I'll summon back the monster I bounced out. I'll attack for damage. Okay, your go, draw, Compulse back, destroy, guess it's my turn, and so forth and so on. And that's it for the main deck, 40 cards. For the extra, because we run Super Poly, we got 2 Starving Venom. This will get replaced to something else once I go Pot of Prosperity, but for now, just to reduce the ill will of extravagance. 2 Garuas, I'm going to keep that in because that's a good Super Poly and punishment target. 3 Entis. One number 41 Baguska. Sometimes you'll have an Ariadne on the field, and maybe you Ice Dragon Prisoned, or you summon another Ariadne off of Welcome Labyrinth. You're locked into Fiends. Well, you got some Link monsters, but if you're kind of in a bad situation, going to a defense position Baguska, not too bad as long as Gozen ain't out. Then, of course, you got Nightmare Unicorn. It's a fiend, and it spins. Nightmare Phoenix, it's a fiend, and it pops. 2 Dark, because Dark is just really good right now. You're going to get pluses off of it in most cases. 1 Beat Cop from the Underworld. This is to put a counter on your... Because you can, Stovey and Ariadne and summon, Trandangular, and you got so many Darks. And you get still Darks. 2 Darks with different names. Go into it. You tribute itself. Pop a counter on your Labyrnth, the field spell. Just to make sure it sticks around. Or maybe on a monster to make sure they can't get over it so easily. And then you got 2 Link Karibos for Backjack if you have to normal summon it in most cases. For the side, for board breakers, we have 1 Pankratops, 2 Lightning Storm, 3 Super Poly, and 3 Evenly. They go in accordingly depending on the matchup. And then when going first, we also have Dimensional Barrier for the matchups where, say, Gozen or Rivalry ain't good. Maybe Dimensional Barrier will be, or Super Poly will be. Or if I have another trap that's just not really good against them, Dimensional Barrier could be. And then Rivalry or Gozen go in. I ain't going to put both in at the same time, but this allows me to slow down the games a little bit. All right. That's the deck. Now let's get on to the duels. Shall we? All right. We're going to start off with a Labyrnth versus Runic Live Twin. Only 1 game, then they quit out. I do want to make one thing clear. Some of these, you may see me playing cards that are not in my deck anymore because I was testing them out at the time. All right. We're going to start. We got King of Heavenly Prison, Glitch. This is where I found out I didn't like it so much. Labyrinth. Labyrinth Field Spell, Compulse, and Ariadne. They got Secret Password, Trouble Snitch, Sunny Snitch, Runic's Tip, Dark Ruler No More, not going to do much there, and Runic's Destruction. That might. Alright. I go first, summon Ariadne, going to get the trap. I'm going to activate Heavenly, set, activate, their turn. They're going to activate Runic's Tip to search out the field spell. They're going to play the field spell, but I'm not liking that too much. Since I control a fiend, going to activate Glitch, pop their field spell, and then be able to send Backjack to the grave. That's my mentality. Of course, they're going to play their destruction card and destroy my field spell. I guess their mentality was, fuck you, if I can't have a field spell, you can't either. But I get to still send Backjack, rearrange my decks. They activate Sitch to search out a card. I get to set Torrential right from my deck. Good times. They're going to summon and do the little Live Twin stuff. I'm going to bounce back one because I don't want to deal with it. They're going to play Home to get out Frost, not Treat. I'm going to activate Ariadne's effect to draw. Heavenly Prison, not the greatest. I'm going to go ahead and Torrential Tribute. This would have been a lot more explosive had I still had the field spell. But, is what it is. I can still summon Heavenly Prison. And this is where I made the one mistake. I forgot in phase of my turn, it banishes the card set. And I set the field spell. Don't ever do that. Do not make that mistake. That is a bad idea. Don't do that. Set either a trap you can activate or Pot of Extravagance. Period. Or Prosperity. Whatever. That's it. Well, I draw into Extravagance. I'm going to banish 6. Draw 2. Go ahead and activate the field spell. Summon out the other Heavenly Prison. Activate Labyrinth. Summon out and pop. And basically get enough damage in per game. They saw that. They're like, crap, fuck you, I'm out. Now we're going to go into the next aspect, which is Labyrnth versus Sky Striker, game 1 and 2, going against this cool dude named Black Star. Has stars at the end. It's kind of a cool name. I really like his name. Alright, so I draw, he draws. Okay, he starts with Rhoda, Bell, Valor, Crow, and the field spell. I have double extravagance. At this time I was running 3, and that's why I cut it down to 2. Because this type of hand I don't like. Torrential goes in, and punishment. Luckily he doesn't have Ash, so I'm able to extravagance. Draw 2. I get Heavenly Prison. That's a good plus. I'm going to set all my traps. And of course with me drawing into Dark Sacrifice there, that means even after I flip up my Gozen, you're not going to be able to get rid of it. At least unless you have a Cosmic. I'm going to set everything. Go ahead and go. I figure with Heavenly Prison I'll be able to get Welcome Labyrinth later. They're going to get Ray to hand. They're going to summon the token here after playing the field spell. I'm Gozing because I know if they summon Ray first and I don't Gozen, they can chain. Now, yeah, they will at least have a stronger monster in field. So I'm like, I don't even want them to get access to their Link stuff. So I'm going to stop the token right there. They're going to go ahead and do that to get some, hopefully probably searching out. They get Mystic Mine, which is kind of funny. Or they have the option to pick it. They don't. They summon Ray. I punishment. They can't quick tag because they're locked into darks. I'm going to send Garua to draw and summon Heavenly Prison. Going to set Welcome Labyrinth. Going to draw another darks. Okay, he banishes Garua. Why? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and activate Welcome Labyrinth. Summon her. I'm going to use her effect to set punishment. Switch him to attack. And I was going to go for severe damage, but with them only having hand traps, me having punishment, Ice Dragon Prison, Torrential Tribute, Gozen locking them down, and Dark Sacrifice. And not to mention, keep in mind, I'm going to also get to pop a card out of their hand, too, at one point or another. They're not getting very far. They go ahead and do that, and we're going to go to game 2, and for some reason, I don't know, Striker likes to make other people go first. Maybe he thought he would draw into some board breakers. He didn't. He drew into Widow Anchor, Ray, Field Spell, Terraforming, and Celestial. I drew Compulse, Ice Dragon, Gozen again, which is always nice, Backjack, and of course the lovely Labyrinth. I hate drawing her, but right now you have to run 2 because you just need the option. If it was the other one, I could summon it the second I activate a trap, so. But it ain't out yet, not until Darkwing Blast. That is going to be such a good card. Alright, so they're going to let me go first. Obviously, I'm going to summon Backjack, set my back row, do the whole whoppity whop. They draw Dasher. That's so sad. They got Dasher and Celestial in hand now. That is so sad. I revealed Dark Simorg, which can be activated this turn thanks to Backjack's effect. So now, if they did, I lucked out there because if they'd had a Lightning Storm, I would have been fucked. As simple as that. But because I hit the Dark Sacrifice, right now, they're going to need 2 forms of back row removal if they want to take out my field. They summon Ray. I'm going to flip up that because I forgot to do it during the draw phase. But that's all right. It locks them into that. Now, I stupidly thought that with Gozen up, if I bounced back Shizuku, they would be unable to summon Ray because they have a water on the field and until it resolves or something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But yeah, that doesn't work that way, and I kind of screw up, but whatever. I bounce that back. They summon Ray. I'm like, no, I'm going to IDP that sumbitch right over to my field. They're going to try to thin out their deck. They're going to get themselves a Rose. They're going to set Widow Anchor. I'm going to draw Underroot, which I like. I'm like, screw it right off the bat. I need her out, so I'm just going to tribute her out, activate her effect. I'm 95% sure they had a Widow Anchor, but I didn't remember 100% if they did, so, or if I even knew, but I was, okay, fine. So I activate the Widow, but they don't have enough spells engraved. They only have 2 cards engraved. I still have that, and I have Overroots. That's enough. I'm like, okay, with Gozen, that's enough. I'm going to set, attack for 29, pass turn. They draw into Ogre. They summon that. I'm like, ah. They end their turn. I draw Punishment. I activate her effects. Set IDP. This is funny. They try to Ogre. Dark Sacrifice doesn't just protect you from cards that activate on the field. It literally negates any effect that would destroy you, including the Ogre. And they saw this, and it's like, oh, I got to send back Jack, get IDP, set up, attack, I pass, they draw, and they draw into that, and they realize there's no way with that hand. And the fact that I am just making so many resources, it's nuts. And yeah, that's my deck. I'm going to be doing a real deck special once all the cards come in. So if you like, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Remember to take care of your family, friends, and fur babies. And until next time, peace out. Rock on.